Today, we're going to dive into a pretty incredible story. It's all about how one small, quiet act of kindness, the kind with no cameras, no one looking for credit, somehow kicked off this massive global chain reaction. So let's start with this question, because it's really at the heart of everything we're going to talk about. What if a single, totally anonymous act of kindness could quietly actually change the world? We're not talking about big, flashy gestures or huge announcements here. No, think way smaller, think quieter. And this is a really key detail. There were no cameras. The person who started this whole thing, they weren't looking for attention. No one was rolling, no one was trying to get a perfect shot for their social media feed. It was just real. And not just no cameras, but no names either. No signature on a note, no credit taken, just a completely selfless act. And honestly, that's what makes what happened next so fascinating. And you guessed it, no reward. This was never about getting something back. It was all about empathy, just a simple human connection, offered with absolutely no strings attached. So, with all that in mind, where did this whole thing actually begin? Okay, let's go right to the very beginning. We're heading to Tokyo for what was just a simple, almost unnoticeable gesture. So picture this. It's a cold evening in Tokyo. There's a quiet park bench, and someone finds two things just left there. It's an incredibly simple scene, right? Just a warm meal and a handwritten note. But it was the message on that little piece of paper that was about to change everything. And here's what it said. So simple, but so powerful. If you need this, please take it. You are not alone. Wow. Just a few words, but think about how much that can mean to someone who feels completely invisible, totally isolated. Well, someone walking by was so moved by this that they just had to snap a photo and share it online. And this is the exact moment that tiny spark catches fire. That one single share was the beginning of a chain reaction that, seriously, nobody could have seen coming. So, okay, how does one photo from a random park bench in Tokyo turn into a global phenomenon? I mean, how does that even happen? Let's trace that incredible journey as this idea just ripples across oceans. The speed of this thing is just mind-blowing. Okay, so in the first hour, the photo is shared from Tokyo. Just 7 hours after that, 7. It's not just being shared anymore. People are already translating it into different languages all across Europe and Asia. By the 24-hour mark, it hits North and South America. And then in just 48 hours, boom, it's a global trending topic. That is the insane power of a simple, universal message. It's just astonishing. But here's the coolest part. This wasn't just about people clicking share on a picture. No, they started copying the act itself. In Berlin, these kindness walls started popping up where you could leave things for people in need. Down in Buenos Aires, they started these community gratitude gardens. In Nairobi, people began quietly sharing free meals. The idea wasn't just copied, it was adapted, It took on a life of its own, fitting into all these different cultures. See, an online trend is one thing, but it becomes a real movement when it jumps off the screen and into the real world. So let's look at how that collective response really took shape. And what happened next was this incredible ripple effect, this multiplication. We're talking thousands of small, selfless acts just multiplying across communities, all of it inspired by that one single gesture. You had students helping strangers, shop owners giving away food. It just kept growing and growing. And the impact this had on individual people, well, it was profound. We started seeing all these messages pour in from people who are on the receiving end of this wave of kindness. Just listen to this first one. It's incredibly powerful. Or this one. Can you imagine finding a simple message of hope on a day when you just feel completely lost? These weren't just nice gestures. For some people, this was literally a lifeline. And this last one, this quote right here, this is the engine that drove the whole thing. Receiving kindness didn't just end the story for that person. No, it inspired them to pay it forward. It made them want to become part of the movement themselves. But of course, with any viral trend, there's always that big question hanging in the air, right? The skeptical part of our brain kicks in and asks, can something like this really create lasting change? And it's a totally fair question, isn't it? I mean, we've all seen it. Online trends that burn super bright for a week and then poof, they're gone. So is viral kindness just another one of those fleeting things? Well, this is where we find the real difference. You've got your typical online buzz. It's loud, it's very visible, and yeah, it's usually temporary. But this whole thing seemed to create something else entirely. It was a quieter, more internal shift in how people saw the world around them. And really, this is the main takeaway. The big, loud spectacle might have faded, sure, but the real impact was never the trending topic. It was that gentle shift inside people, making them a little more aware, a little more present in their communities. And that kind of quiet change, that's the stuff that really lasts. So here's the thing. This story doesn't really have an ending because it's not over. And this last part, well, this is about where you fit into all of this. And the best part is, you don't need a huge platform or a million followers to keep this ripple going. The actions themselves are so beautifully simple. It's about leaving a kind note for a stranger to find. It's offering help without even being asked. Or, just fully listening when someone is talking to you. These aren't huge, complicated gestures. They're small, human moments that literally any one of us can create at any time. So I'll leave you with this final thought. That one person on that park bench in Tokyo, they had no idea what was about to happen. They just did one small thing. So the question really isn't if one person can make a difference. I think we've seen pretty clearly that they can. The only question left is, what ripple will you start today?